So as we already introduced ourselves, I'm Sydney.
And I'm Jason.
And today we're going to be talking to you about aging strong and what all that means and how it benefits you. So how many of you played a sport in high school or college? Yeah? What kind of sports?
Football.
Football.
Basketball.
Basketball.
Olympics.
Oh, wow. Okay. So obviously while you're playing sports, you're being very active. How many of you had jobs that were physically demanding on your body? Yeah? Or you had to do a lot of walking?
Yeah.
Yeah? So when you're doing that, did you feel like you were healthier?
Yeah.
Yeah?
So how many of you would say that you work out now or you exercise every day now?
They come here, but only when we come here.
Only when you come here?
Yeah.
So today we're, like Sydney said, we're talking about aging strong. So we're going to talk about physical activity, nutrition, and a couple other things that help contribute to your well-being and how that can help you age strong. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is how physical activity decreases your risk for falling. So how many people here are afraid of exercising because they think it might cause a fall? Well, if that's you, you should really tell someone that, because you can still be physically active depending on what your skill level and your abilities are. And so you can work with your doctor or whoever's here to help an exercise program just for you. And there's a lot of exercises you can do just sitting in your chair to help build up muscle strength and bone strength, which actually will help decrease your risk of falling if you do those exercises.
And we're going to teach you some of those in a little bit.
So it doesn't only improve the strength of your muscles by doing exercise, you actually will get stronger bones from doing exercises. And even if you already have osteoporosis, I don't know if anyone in here has been told that they have weak bones. So even if you do have been told you have weak bones, doing these exercises will help strengthen your bones and will decrease your risk of falling as well. So it's never too late to incorporate physical activity into your everyday.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I got too discount in my spine.
Mm-hmm. Well, you just have to talk with whoever is involved in your care and the people here to work out something specifically for you, and whatever activity you can do, that will help improve your overall well-being.
Who made that? Something like that.
So then just a few other things is that when you're not here and when you're at home or wherever you stay, just try and remove things that will increase a fall too. So you want to do your exercise and build up your physical fitness, but you also want to remove hazards in your own home. So if you have a lot of rugs at home or anything like that, you want to try and limit those so that you're not tripping over it or you're getting your walker caught on it. And just being aware of your surroundings, so making sure you know what's around you. And so now we're going to talk about muscle and bone health.
All right, so sedentary lifestyle, which means doing a lot of sitting or laying, decreases your bone strength and also deteriorates your muscles. So I'm going to explain how for a little bit, okay? So just bear with me through the science.
And that also works against stability?
It does, exactly.
Okay,
So,
I just want to make sure.
yep, you're tying it all together. Good job.
Okay.
Okay, so what happens when we're sitting down and we're not using our bones is that they aren't turning over as fast. So the cells in them aren't reproducing. So they're just kind of sitting there, just like you. So if you're sitting still, then that means your cells are sitting still. So your bones are not getting stronger.
They're tired.
I bet that they are.
They are
I
tired.
know.
And what do? You have to push.
You do, for a little bit, and then, you start to feel a little better, okay? And it'll be a little less tiring. So it only takes 2 to 6 weeks of having a more sedentary lifestyle or doing more sitting for your bones and muscles to start to be effective. So for a highly trained athlete who maybe has a minor injury and they're out for 6 weeks, about that 6-week mark, they'll start to see changes in their muscle strength and bone strength. But for somebody who might not be as physically active, but say you typically walk at least to the mailbox every day, you walk around your house, and then maybe you have a fall, and so you can't do that anymore. It only takes about 2 weeks for you to start losing that muscle that you have and the bone strength you have. So that's not very long for your body to start deconditioning. So when we're constantly using our muscles, it makes our muscles stronger. So even just walking to the mailbox, you know, your legs are bearing the weight of the rest of your body. So you're walking to the mailbox every day, you're walking around your house, getting a shower, so your muscles are building up. And because our muscles attach to our bones, and they make our bones work, it also is increasing the strength of your bones. So that's kind of how they correlate together. So if you have stronger muscles, you're automatically going to have stronger bones. So Jason touched a little bit about osteoporosis, so I'm not going to go fully into that, and some of you agreed that you do have it. So just because you have osteoporosis doesn't mean that you can't increase your bone strength by working out. It actually, according to Neomed and all of that, all of the smart people out there, they said that the best thing people can do with osteoporosis, aside from medication and supplements and eating properly, is to do some sort of exercise.
So the next thing we're going to talk about is how nutrition plays into aging strong. And so all these things we're talking about really make the big picture. So exercising as well as making sure you're eating good, healthy food to help the increased demand, because obviously if you're working out, exercising your arms and moving your legs, you're going to need nutrients to supply your muscles with the energy to do that. So there's some big things to know about nutrition to keep it really simple, things that you can do and incorporate if you don't prepare your food yourself, whoever is preparing your food, just tell them tips of things that you want to incorporate into your diet to help you age strong. And so the number one thing is that you should really try to be getting a lot of fruits and vegetables. The fresher your food, the more nutrients it typically will have. And fresh fruits and vegetables can be incorporated into your diet and will help give your muscles that extra strength and energy to do your increased physical activity. And the second big thing about nutrition is that if you can incorporate whole grain and fiber, so eating whole wheat flour instead of white bread, and anything that has fiber. So fresh fruits and vegetables have two types of fiber. One is the insoluble fiber, which is just like skins and seeds and stuff like that your body doesn't digest. So it adds bulk to your stool and it helps keep your GI system regular also. And it actually will decrease your levels of bad cholesterol. So it will help your heart health to get whole grains and fiber into your diet, as well as helping your digestive system.
How many of you have had a doctor tell you you should have more fiber and water in your diet? Yeah? It's a common thing we hear.
A majority of people do not get enough fiber in their diets. Even young people, people of all ages, do not meet their requirements for fiber in their body. And this is why we see a lot of problems with our heart health, because you don't think that eating whole grain and fiber would affect the fat levels in your body, but it actually helps get rid of some of that fat through your GI system. And then another big takeaway is protein. So obviously, protein is a great source of energy for your body, and if you're increasing your physical activity, which you should be to help your bones and your muscles, you want to make sure you're getting lean protein, which just means things like chicken and fish that don't have a lot of the bad fats in them, but will still give you high energy. And you can also get protein from plant sources, so always try and incorporate plants into your diet as much as possible. And it's always good to get your nutrients from your food. So if you're eating fresh, healthy foods, you're typically going to get more vitamins and nutrients, but you may still need to supplement something. So if you do have osteoporosis, you might want to supplement calcium and vitamin D to help get that into your bones. And if you don't get really hungry in the morning, or some meals you don't feel like eating a whole meal, you might want to take some Ensure or Boost shakes, and it's a nice, easy little thing to drink that has a lot of nutrients with protein and all vitamins to help provide for your muscles to help you age strong. And so another big thing is just small changes. So I'm not telling you to go change your whole diet today because it's not realistic, but to incorporate, hey, I want to eat more vegetables today at dinner, and try and change things up slowly, and then it'll have a big impact on your ability to age strong. And then the last thing that we're just going to talk about with nutrition is smoking. So how many of you have been smokers or are currently smoking? Been smoking? Well, Well, stopping smoking at any time, no matter how old you are, has benefits for your health. It will actually help you absorb your medications and your nutrients better. So if you're not smoking, your body can use that nutrients from the good food you're eating and help it get to your muscles for your strength. And then smoking also contributes to things that aren't necessarily related to your lungs. So it will increase your blood pressure, which will increase your risk for a heart attack. And it also makes your bones weaker. So if you stop smoking and you eat healthy and incorporate exercise, you'll have a stronger heart, stronger muscles, and stronger bones.
You'll feel better.
And you'll feel better. Yes, you'll have more energy. And then once you do these things, you'll be able to maybe increase the physical activity that you are doing. So it's all about gradually increasing to keep you functioning at your best level for you. And so I'm going to keep talking. The next thing we're talking about is pressure ulcers. So how many of you spend the majority of your time sitting in a chair or sitting in the couch? So this is something that you need to be aware of so that you can protect yourself against it. And so pressure sores or pressure ulcers are just when you have a bone pressed up against that you sit on all the time, or maybe you're laying on your elbow or something, and all that pressure damages the skin in that area. So you want to be able to prevent that. So you want to try and shift your weight as often as possible. So if you notice that you've been sitting in a chair for a while, try and shift your weight. And if you need help doing that, don't be afraid to tell someone, hey, I've been sitting here for a long time and I need you to move me. Because you can be your #1 advocate and make sure that you're not sitting in one place. So don't worry about bothering someone. It is important to be moved in the chair because pressure ulcers, I'm not going to go into it, but the staging of them, once it starts, it's really hard to reverse it, and you don't want it to keep progressing. And so some things that you might notice before it becomes an open sore is just redness, or it might feel hot to you and sore. So if you see any of that on your skin, you want to make sure that you tell somebody, that they look at it, and that you're relieving the pressure from that area.
Does that create a so-called bruise?
It might look a little...
Can you get a bruise from that?
So it'll start off as like, let's say a light
Red.
pink. Yeah, like a light pink.
Pink.
And,
And turn darker?
and it'll just be on the outside of your skin.
Okay.
And then the next stage is that the skin's gonna fall off in that area, and it's kind of gonna open up, and you're gonna see a deeper skin layer, deeper tissue layer.
Oh, my.
And then the next stage is that it's gonna go into your muscle, and then people really bad, and we've seen people come into the ER or in my nursing home rotation where you could actually see their bones.
Yeah.
So it can get so deep down that you can see your bone because you're not moving. I know, and sometimes people have complications where they get infected, and then that's a whole other animal to tackle. So it's really important that you are moving yourself, placing a pillow, turning onto your side a little bit, changing chairs. Yeah.
So the prevention is the key, and so if you notice that something is feeling off anywhere, just tell someone. And if you can't visualize the skin on your whole body, make sure you have someone else do that for you. So whoever's at home with you or people here, just making sure that they get a look at your bottom and your knees and your elbows to make sure that they don't see anything early, because once it starts, like we said, it's hard to stop. And I don't know how many of you have you been told you have neuropathy or numbness in any of your extremities?
Yep.
So that it puts you at an even better chance of it happening because you can't really feel the pain as well.
Right.
So that's why for you and anyone else who said they have trouble feeling, it's important to make sure you have that person that you can go to every day and say, I want you to look at my skin. I trust you to make sure that my skin is staying nice and dry and clean so that it doesn't get red.
Yeah, so like he said, major bony areas. So a lot of times where we see it is our elbows or our heels if you lay a lot. And then right over here at the end of your tailbone, because we're constantly laying and sitting right there. So if you feel like you have a sore bum, I know that sometimes that can be uncomfortable, but there's professionals here and your family members, I'm sure, that would rather you say, would you be willing to check me? So don't attribute it to it just being something maybe from constipation or whatever. If you're feeling something back there that doesn't feel right, just make sure that you have somebody check it out.
And then the last thing about the pressure sores is that, like I said, everything here ties together into aging strong. And so if you are in an increased risk for a pressure sore, exercising and keeping your bones strong will help you be able to shift your weight so you're not putting pressure on certain places. And then the nutrition piece, if you're getting all the nutrients that you have, even if you did develop a sore, your body's going to be able to heal much faster. And if you're not getting the proper foods, your body's going to have a really hard time healing that sore. So that's why eating healthy is super important to preventing pressure ulcers, just like watching your skin is.
All right, and the last thing that I'm going to speak about is how aging strong and physical activity can decrease your risk of dying from a preventable disease. So I know that we live in America, and almost everyone is on a medication for something. So whether it's high blood pressure, coronary artery disease, diabetes, any of those sound familiar to anybody? Yeah? Okay, so all of these things that I just mentioned are diseases that usually come into play because we are not eating healthy enough and we are not active enough. So as far as, we'll start with diabetes. So type 2 diabetes, most of you might know it as. They used to call it non-insulin dependent, but that's changed. Most of this comes into play because we are gaining weight in our midsection. Our body has a decreased ability to process the food the right way because we're sedentary, we're not working out. So if we're eating healthy and we're eating less processed foods, less processed sugar, we're not going to gain as much weight and get as heavy, and we're going to be able to keep working out and keep that weight off. So it's going to decrease your chances for diabetes, and diabetes can cause complications with vision, with neuropathy, so feeling in our feet and our hands. Like as Jason said, all of this is tied together quite nicely. As far as hypertension goes, if you work out, you have a less chance of, like I said, gaining weight. You have greater peripheral
your blood will flow to the ends of your body better
yes.
if you exercise.
Perfusion, there we go.
And your blood pressure will be lower if you exercise, which means that your chance of having a heart attack or a stroke decreases. And also with eating healthy nutrients and decreasing that fat and bad cholesterol by getting your fiber, eating your fruits and vegetables, that will also decrease your chance of having a heart attack and stroke, which is something that is very scary and we all want to prevent. So that's why it's really important to lower your blood pressure and exercise.
So last week our friends came and talked to you about the heart. They had their little heart model, they talked to you about the heart. So they talked a lot about coronary artery disease, stroke, heart attack. So if you decrease your bad cholesterol, like Jason said, by eating fiber-filled foods, by working out, you're increasing your peripheral vascular, and you're decreasing your risk of dying from a stroke or from a heart attack. So it's super important that we are staying a little active, even if it is just in our chair. So we're going to show you exercises that we can do totally by sitting down. Before we get there, does anybody have any questions about things we've said so far?
I have a question about this neuropathy.
Yeah.
Is there anything that can be done to alleviate, even a little bit, the hands and feet?
The numbing that you feel.
Yes, from the neuropathy. Is there anything out or coming down a pipe or something? Anything?
I know, that's a hard one. So I know that sometimes they say that the damage that has been done can be irreversible. But there are studies, which I've read a lot, and it's a lot of times associated with chemo. People who go through chemo sometimes get neuropathy. And what they are telling them to prevent it is to ice your hands and feet. So I'm not as sure that there's anything to totally reverse what's already done.
But you have diabetes, right, Jean?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
No,
Well,
I developed this in my old age.
Well, there are certain medications that they can give you to help decrease that neuropathy and decrease any pain that you feel. You'll probably still always have the decreased sensation and numbness, but there's medications you can take. But also, your diet does play a little bit into it. It's not going to reverse neuropathy, but if you eat healthy and get good blood flow to your extremities, to your hands and feet, by moving them, so part of these exercises we're going to do by moving our arms and our legs will help get the blood flow down there, so that can help with the neuropathy. Even though it is not necessarily your blood vessels, it's your nerves. When you get blood down there, it helps increase your feeling. So that can help decrease the neuropathy.
Any other questions? Okay. All right, so we gave you a few handouts. The first one is just a major takeaway with our big points that are up here. And I think the second one is a page on pressure ulcers. And then we have 2 exercise sheets. One is strictly chair exercises, and then the other one involves a little bit of standing up. So today we're just going to go over the chair exercises with you guys, if that's okay.
All right, so as everyone, can they see this page? It's got the people sitting in the chair. It says chair exercises. I'm just going to do them standing here because they all involve moving your arm. But the first one is called chest expansion. So this will also help with your breathing. If you ever feel like getting up, you have trouble breathing, expanding your chest out will help your lungs expand and will also increase the strength in your arms. So we're just going to do 20 of those. So just, if you can, stick your arms straight out like this. And then I just want you to bring them out as far as you can, and then bring them back in. And you can try and take a breath in when you expand, and then breathe out. And so this will help your arms and open up your lungs.
Is anybody feeling the burn?
Kind of hard to compare like
If you can do it one side, that's good too, because any movement, whatever your ability is, will help increase the strength in that arm and help your lungs.
All right. And then any of these exercises we're doing, if you're able and you have them at home, just small weights, you can always add small weights to them to make it a little more challenging. But we recommend that you don't just go home and start lifting weights, because then you're going to have an injury. So we recommend if you're going to start doing these or want to start doing them, you do them for a couple weeks without any added weight. So your body's used to the movement, you build up a little bit of strength, and then maybe incorporate adding weight into it. All right, the next one is we're going to stick our arms straight out to the side, and then we're going to lift up to our ears. Yep, just like that. And then this is something you can do 20
You're
times.
watching TV, you can do these anytime you're sitting in a chair and you notice, hey, I need to get a little active today. You can just put your arms in the air.
Yep, good job. All right, and then our last one, and this one, or our next one, and this can really help with your spine and your back if you have a little bit of back pain, is you're going to sit up straight and then you're going to lean out just like this. It kind of stretches that spine and that neck. Yeah, good job, everyone. Yeah. Especially if we sit in our chairs a lot, you know, we kind of get, our back starts to get tense, our shoulders do.
So this will roll shoulders out if you
I
can.
got to do this hard time. I can do that.
And then the next one is just arm circles. So like we've been doing, just put your arms out to the side, and then do it 10 one way, and then 10 the other way. And these will also help with the movement in your shoulder joints. So we want to move our shoulders as much as we can so we don't get stiff, and that when you do go to do your physical activity and get up and walk or move in the chair, that your shoulders are flexible.
Do you have a question?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're just working on your mobility.
So we've got 2 more arm exercises.
Okay, so this one we're going to sit like with our arms and fists like this if we're able, and then we're just going to punch up like we're boxers.
Or like
you can,
Superman.
yeah, and you can do it as fast or as slow as you want, but we're working on our strength by punching up. We're increasing that
Hi, Sophie. Hi, Sophie.
And like I said, we can add weights to any of these. We can add weights when we punch up, we can add weights when we punch out, to our arm circles.
And then we're not going to go over all the other ones because there is some standing ones. But a great one to do in a chair if you're able to move your leg is to just get your leg and then try and move it up as far as you can and back down. And that's a really good way to get your legs moving. And if you're not able to stand or walk as well, that's a great way to keep getting blood flow to those legs. So moving them as much as you can.
Does anybody have any questions about the exercises? No? Okay. We have a couple prizes for you guys today. So she was kind enough to put your names into little bins for us, and then we're just going to draw names, and we have a Cossacks cushion, which is for to go under your bum when you're sitting, and it decreases your risk for pressure ulcers. And then we also have these dumbbells we're going to give away today. What? Yeah. All right, we'll have somebody else put it down. This is for the pressure ulcer pillow.
Lloyd Cox.
Lloyd!
Right.
Here you go.
Right, Lloyd.
Pressure ulcer, that's
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Congratulations. All right, and then these are for the dumbbells.
Lynn.
Lynn.
All right.
Lynn, oh, Lynn.
Oh. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna give one to Lynn, and then we're gonna give the other one to someone else. So 2 people. Get the benefit.
Jean.
Jean.
All righty.
Where's Lynn?
Oh, Lynn's right over here.
Here you go. You're welcome.
That's a good size. Yeah.
All right, and then we do have a word puzzle for you guys, a crossword puzzle attached to your little packets. We tried to make it pop big.
That's good.
So,
You made it big enough, that's good.
good.
If you guys need pencil buttons.
Oh, I have a bunch of pens too that I brought.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have a
Do you have
pointer?
I have that hard after a while.
So if you have, do you have a short-acting inhaler that you can take? So the best thing that I would recommend for if you're having trouble taking your breath is make sure someone's with you when you try and do your arm exercises, and take that inhaler right before you do it, so to open your lungs up, and then they can watch you or be there with you. And doing the chest expansions might help you after a while because it will help open those lungs up. So that's what I would recommend.
Does anyone over here